to today's impactful section with Temi Akran from Comfort Empowerment and Advocacy Foundation. Today we are talking about a topic that breaks homes, ends dreams, destroys destinies, and silences voices, which is violence. We will break it down, talk about its types, causes, effects, signs, and most importantly, the way out. Because at SAVE, we believe knowledge is power and silence empowers abusers. So stay tuned with me to the end of this section. Now let's understand what violence means. First, what is violence? Violence is when someone uses force, harmful words, actions to harm another person's body, feelings, or life. It can be physical, which is eating, beating, emotional, like insults, threats, sexually, like forced sex or touching, or any act that causes pain, fear, or damage to someone. Now let's break it down this way. Here are the types of violence. We have physical violence, which is eating, slapping, beating, choking, or murder. Anything that harms the body. This is called physical violence. And we also have sexual violence. Sexual violence has to do with rape, sexual assault, child sexual abuse, sexual harassment, or forcing someone into sexual acts against their will. Yes, I also talk about emotional or psychological violence. This has to do with insults, manipulation, gaslighting, threats, isolation, controlling someone's mind and emotions. We have economic violence. This is denying someone access to money, preventing someone from working, or controlling all their finances to keep them trapped. This is commonly happen in the home among couples. We also have cultural or religious violence. It has to do with harmful traditional practices like child marriage, female genital mutilation, or discrimination based on beliefs. And we talk about self-directed violence, which has to do with suicide and self-harm. Now, the last type of violence I'll talk about is the collective violence, which is the one we know as wars, communal classes, gang violence, and terrorism. Violence is broad and is cut across every aspect of society. Now, but something must lead to something. There are causes of violence, and today we'll be talking about it. Now, what are the causes of violence? Number one, poverty and unemployment. Lack of resources can push someone into crime or violence out of frustration. I will talk about broken homes and family dysfunction. Children raised in abusive homes often normalize violence around the environment. I will talk about substance abuse, which has to do with alcohol, drugs, and so many other forms of crimes in the society. We also have media and moral violence. This is common in our society these days. When we talk about movies, music, and social media normalizing violence in the society. Then I'd like to talk about the poor mental health awareness. Many people live with undiagnosed disorders that influence violent behavior around us. And lastly, on the types of violence, I'll talk about childhood trauma. Unhealed wounds manifest as violence later in life, which is part of the signs we see these days, even in adults. Which of these causes do you see in your environment today? Let's talk about the effects of violence. What are the effects of violence? It has effects on individuals, it has effects on society, it has effects on families. Now, talking about the effect on individuals, physical injuries, disability, trauma, depression, anxiety, PTSD, loss of self-esteem, or even death. These are the effects of violence on individuals. Talking about effects on families, broken homes, children growing up with fear, generational trauma. These are the effects of violence on families. And lastly on this, I'll talk about on society, effects of violence on society. These are the time where we see increased crime rates, economic decline. As we head today's section, remember, violence destroys lives. Silence empowers abusers. Your voice, your awareness, your courage can save someone's life. At SAVE, we advocate for a world free of abuse, violence, and exploitation. A world where every man, woman, and child lives in peace, dignity, and safety. If you or someone is experiencing violence or any form of abuse, speak up today and seek help. Follow us on all platforms at saveorgng.com for more empowering content. But before we go, here is a question for you. What type of abuse have you experienced before? Drop your comments, like, and share. Thank you for staying with me till the end of this section. Together, we can end violence. Have a great day.